What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to episode number 2 of my series, Stories from the Blind. Last time I did one of these videos, I talked about how I shot and harvested this deer right here. And this next story kind of goes hand in hand with both of them, but this one's gonna be just slightly different than the rest. So we're going back to early January, just after peak rut here in Northwest Alabama. And I'm sitting in the spot that I like to call North Blind. Well, while I'm sitting there, I'm happen to check my Moultrie app, and I see that there's a bunch of deer, including this fella, at my South Blind location, which is about, a quarter mile south of where my other blind is. Now, being the immature hunter that I am, I tried to sneak up on these deer, and it did not work. They were all gone by the time that I finally got to that blind, but I decided to sit in it anyways and just kind of see what would happen. Now, I knew that the deer that I were after were probably gone. I probably spooked them off or something, just trying to get to that spot. I mean, it's merely impossible to sneak up on a deer unless you're really, really good at it. And props to those guys who are, because some of them are really good at spot and stalk. I am not. I've not reached that level yet. Anyways, I've been sitting there for about 30 minutes, and I start to hear some twigs snapping, and I look up, and there is a 3-point buck walking into that spot, and we've had him on camera for a while. We actually call him and another one twins because they have almost purely identical racks. Probably only, a 1.5-year-old deer, pretty young, and he's walking straight in. I'm looking right at him. I do put my crosshairs on him just because, at this point in the season, I'd only shot one deer, and I was really trigger happy to get another one. So he walks in and heads straight to the grain block that I have sitting in this little area. And he's sitting there, and he's straight in front of me. He would be a frontal shot, if anything. He's not broadside at all, so he's not giving me a good shot. It's a younger buck, so I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I don't think I'm going to shoot this deer. Now, of course, I still want to go home with a deer this day. I mean, it's early in the morning. I'm tired. I didn't get much sleep the night before. I still really want to shoot a deer, so I still have my rifle on him, and I'm just waiting for him to possibly give me a shot, just in case I change my mind. Now, after about 2 minutes, he's still just straight in front of me, not giving me a good shot. He picks his nose up, and I know that he's about to smell my scent. So he lifts his nose up. I see him taking a big, deep breath in, trying to get a little scent on something. He ended up smelling me and took off running. So that was it. That was how my morning went. I was pretty disappointed in myself. I should have just let the other herd of deer that I had seen on camera try to make their way up north, or even done some rattling or some sort of call to try to get the other deer in. And then I ended up spooking another one. So I was having a pretty rough morning at this point. So I decided to pack all my gear up. I was like, all right, it's going to be okay. I'm going to get out here in the evening. So I get all my gear up. I'm heading back towards the house to come up here to get some warmth, because it was freezing cold that day, and to get something to eat because I was pretty hungry. So I'm starting to walk back, and it's a decent walk. It's nothing crazy. And there's this part in the creek that I have to cross, and usually I just jump straight across it. Now, every time that I have come to this spot, I have told myself, one day I'm going to bust my behind at this very location. And I kid you not, I did. I very much did. I jumped across the creek, and when I landed, I slipped. I slammed my rifle into the ground. My knee landed on a tree stump, and I'm pretty sure my pinky finger touched the very back of my wrist. So anyways, not a very fun strain of events. My gun safety came off. It was loaded. A little scary moment there. Thank God nothing happened on that end. I'd already been having problems with my knees. I was dealing with some very bad tendonitis in my left knee at the time, which I think the cold weather has a lot to do with that, because it happens almost every winter. But I was dealing with a lot of knee pain already, and when you're sitting in a chair for 4 hours in the freezing cold morning, it's already hurting. And so I ram that knee straight into a tree stump, and it felt pretty good. However, my main focus was on my pinky finger, because it was immediate pain. I looked down, my finger was crooked. I was like, oh, that's not good. So I head back up to the house. I put some ice on my knee and on my pinky finger. I came up, I took a nap, I got something to eat, and I think a lot of people would probably just call it a day. Honestly, I was in a lot of pain, but I was pretty resilient, and I really wanted to shoot a deer. So around 4 o'clock that evening, I went back out, and this time I went to the South Blind originally, where I'd seen all the deer that day. And in fact, right after I left to go up to the house the first time, there was a little button buck that came in right after me. I don't know if he was trying to follow me or see what I was up to, but he came in and then made his way right back out. So this particular spot had been pretty busy and pretty popular among the deer herd that day. So I get back out there. I am sitting for hours and I don't see anything. Unfortunately, I'm thinking, all right, it's going to be one of those days where I go home pretty upset at myself and think, man, what could I have done differently? Well, come literally 10 minutes before legal hunting hours ends, I see a doe walk out. And she's about 55, 60 yards from where my blind is. It's pretty dark. It's a closed canopy in the forest, so it's not super bright down there. And I see her walking in, and at this time, the only doe that I really knew of on property had 2 fawns. And I know that, like, statistically, you can shoot a mother doe that has, some yearling fawns or some older fawns, and they'll be just fine. However, morally, I don't like doing that. And I accidentally did that last season, which will be a completely separate video, but I accidentally shot a mother last year, and that sounds awful. Let me rephrase that. I accidentally shot a doe that had a fawn last year, and I felt really bad. Again, I know statistically they'll be okay, but morally, I don't like to do that. So I was waiting and waiting to make sure that this doe that had walked out did not have any fawns with it. Now, to my surprise, she did not. So I waited about 5 minutes. She came in, she got some food, she was looking around. Again, it's very dark out. It's about 5 minutes till legal hunting hours ends at this point. And let me remind you, I don't have the best eyesight. So in case you can't see where this is going, let me get there real quick. I put my crosshairs on the shoulder. I let a .308 round rip. Made contact. I know that I did. I checked the blood trail immediately. Felt very comfortable in that shot. Called my dad, told him I shot a doe. At first he was like, why are you shooting a doe? I thought you were only going after bucks, which is true. So anyways, he comes out there, we get some lights, we start to track this blood trail, and I mean, it is going, and we're going straight up a big hill. I'd almost call it a mountain, as tall as it is. So we're going straight up a hill. It's a lot of fun at nighttime and when you're already exhausted from the day. And mind you, my pinky and my thumb are still flamed up at this moment. I'm still hurting, but sometimes you just got to troop through it and you'll be all right. So anyways, we walk and we walk and we walk, and finally up against a tree, I see the dead doe, or so I thought. I get closer and, I very rarely do this, but I let a couple words slip. I said, oh, shoot. My dad turns around immediately. He's like, what? And I told him, yeah, I shot a button buck. It was not a doe. And for those of you that might be watching that don't know what a button buck is, it's basically a male deer that is so young, usually under a year old, 8 months to probably 14 months old, that does not have any antlers. So it just has nubs right here instead of a full rack. And that means you've shot a pretty young deer. Now, thankfully in Alabama, there are no regulations on minimum antler length requirements for male deer. I know some states up north have some pretty strict rules on that. Thankfully, Alabama doesn't. Now, obviously, I felt very bad about it. This is not the deer that I was after. And if I would have paid a little more attention, it was completely avoidable. But in the heat of the moment, it's dark out. I'm just excited to shoot something. Got a little trigger happy. So anyways, I felt pretty bad about it. We drug it all the way back out to the field. I went ahead and field dressed it. We took it to the processor. Nonetheless, still thankful for the deer, for the meat that it provided, obviously. And as always, I always thank the animal and thank God, first and foremost, providing food for our family. It's always something I do. This one was a little on the sad side because, again, did not mean to do that. So anyways, that kind of wrapped up that day. Now, I went home. I told my wife, I'm like, hey, I think I broke my pinky. No, I didn't immediately go to the doctor or anything. A couple days later, I ended up getting a splint for it because I was pretty sure that it was broken. And it lasted about 2 weeks of some pretty bad pain here and there. Eventually, it kind of straightened back out. It's pretty straight now. But in the moment, I was a little worried that I'd have a crooked pinky for the rest of my life. So anyways, that is the story, how I broke a finger, bruised a knee, and accidentally shot a button buck all in the same day. It was a heck of a time. Nonetheless, it was still fun. I still love hunting no matter what. And thankfully, still got some meat for the freezer that day. I did not get it mounted before anybody asks. Not that I don't think anybody would, but I did not get a skull mount for a button buck. But that's it. That pretty much wraps up that story. I'm going to do probably a couple more of these. I'm testing out different areas where I like to do these videos. Typically, I don't like sitting down for videos, but I actually kind of enjoyed this. So if you will, please leave a like on this video and hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a ton. And if you don't mind, give this video a share, whether it's to one of your family members, one of your friends. If you want to post it on your social media, that would be amazing. Help me grow this channel and get my content out there. And that's really all I could ever ask. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. I can't wait to make more of these coming up, and really looking forward to this year's deer season. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a blessed day. I'll catch you guys on the next video.